Things at Mercedes have not been going to plan so far this season, and the team seem to be crumbling under the pressure to perform. As the performances have fallen apart this season, it seems like the team might be as well. In the last year, Mercedes have seen some big names go from their squad, perhaps in anticipation of what they saw coming. But it is the people who might be going in the near future that are the real shock. Stick with us to find out if Toto Wolff will be changing the paddock for the Maldives, and other huge names that might be leaving Mercedes very soon. After every race this season, there have been headlines about Mercedes underperforming, but since Imola, they've become a little more shocking. Lewis Hamilton has really struggled for performance this season, and Imola was his worst race yet. He crossed the line in 14th place, before being moved up to 13th place due to Esteban Ocon's time penalty being imposed. Way ahead of him, almost a lap ahead actually, George Russell crossed the line in 4th place after a mature and impressive performance in difficult conditions. The 7-time world champion looked dejected after the race, and rightly so. It was his worst performance for Mercedes in 10 years, and his second worst finish for the team in races he's finished. The only time he's finished lower down the order was in 2021 in Azerbaijan, when he made a late error with his braking settings, which caused him to go from first to last after coming off the track. Could it be the recent loss of Mercedes staff that have destabilized the team? And could the destabilization lead to another high-profile exit among the Mercedes staff? Before we focus on the current state of Mercedes, let's look at how they got here. In 2021, Red Bull started recruiting people for their new power unit division. With Honda leaving Formula 1, Red Bull have decided to start making their own engines going forward. The 2022 engine is still a Honda engine, as work on the Red Bull plant has been delayed due to COVID, but very soon it will be Red Bull powertrain branded. It's a great move from Red Bull, which will save them money in the long run, give them more control over the engine in their cars, and allow them a new revenue stream by selling the engine onto other teams on the grid. To start a new engine manufacturing plant, you need new staff. And what better place to find them than the successful F1 engine production company that's based just half an hour down the road from you. In April 2021, Red Bull revealed Mercedes HPP's head of mechanical engineering Ben Hodgkinson would become Red Bull Powertrain's new technical director. Hodgkinson joined Red Bull with almost 20 years of experience with Mercedes, and since then, there have been other departures as well. 5 more Mercedes employees followed Hodgkinson for the half-an-hour drive to Red Bull. The exit of so many staff caused a bit of an issue for Mercedes. In interviews at the time, Wolff was asked whether doubling salaries at Mercedes could ward Red Bull's advances off, something Red Bull's Dr. Helmut Marko reportedly said the Silver Arrows were resorting to, explaining that Red Bull had approached far more than just 6 Mercedes personnel, however. The Mercedes chief said, "I think they have, in all, approached 100 people or so, and they got 15, maybe. And doubling the salaries is one thing, but if you triple them, at some stage you're not going to be able to compete anymore, even for loyal people. It is what it is," he said. At the start of 2021, it was Red Bull coming for the engine staff. Now, at the start of 2022, it is Ferrari coming for the aerodynamicists. Gianluca Romani recently made the move from Mercedes to Ferrari, and is just another piece gone from the Mercedes puzzle. Like a Jenga tower, the more pieces you remove, the closer you get to falling. But all of these people so far have been figures working behind the scenes. They are cracks that a team can paper over, or people with skills that can be replaced. No offense meant to any of them, it's just the truth of the matter. What Mercedes can't replace, though, is a driver who has broken almost every record there is. A man who's won 7 World Championship titles and led the team to 8 consecutive Constructors' titles. But they might just have to, as rumours that Lewis Hamilton could be on his way out of the team begin to emerge. But they haven't come from nowhere. It is Albert Fabrega who broke the story after the Imola Grand Prix. The reliable Formula 1 journalist said after the Grand Prix at Imola, an early driver switch between 2 teams is coming up. The Spanish insider says in a video, "The market is already moving. Something is happening, but I can't say, because I wasn't allowed to say anything from whom he got the news. I'm not surprised by those who leave, but I am surprised by those who arrive." Well, it's a change of drivers between teams. But why would it be Lewis who's involved in a driver move? Well, because he wants to win, and that's something that he just can't do at Mercedes anymore. Not many people know the inside of the Mercedes team better than former driver and teammate of Lewis, Nico Rosberg. Rosberg has spoken out about what he views as rising tensions at Mercedes, with the reigning Constructors' champions seemingly unable to join the title fight with Red Bull and Ferrari. While George Russell managed 4th place after a spirited drive at Imola, Lewis Hamilton could only place 13th, and a lap down on race winner Max Verstappen. Over the weekend, footage emerged of an animated Toto Wolff speaking with Hamilton in the garage, their body language suggesting that it was an argument. "You can see how the tension is rising," Rosberg said. "We saw how Toto, in my view, was angry at Lewis after qualifying, because maybe Lewis criticized the team a little bit too harshly over the team internal radio about something they did. The tension's rising, and that's natural, and Lewis will obviously start to show those emotions a little bit." Rosberg isn't the only one to share the view that things in the Mercedes paradise are starting to turn sour. Lewis has cut a dejected figure in recent weeks, and especially at Imola. He looked out of energy and low on drive. Having won absolutely everything in F1, there's only one last record for him to grab. That is the most driver championships won by one person. He's tied Michael Schumacher on 7 at the moment, and after this winter hiatus, he'd hope to come back and win number 8 before retiring. As things stand, it doesn't look like Mercedes are going to be in a position to compete for championships anytime soon. It could be seasons before the Silver Arrows manage to catch up, and Lewis doesn't have that kind of time left. Rumours he might jump ship have started circulating. If the team can't keep together, then the empire that Toto Wolff has built could come crumbling down. But what about the big bad Wolff himself? He isn't in it for the money. He's won all the titles. He's just here for the competition now. But with his team no longer being competitive, does Toto have the patience to stick it out and fight for the team? Work being done now might not come to fruition for 2 or 3 seasons yet. That's a long time to be losing after you've won for so long. However, when suggested if, during the current dark spell, he had pondered that he could have cashed out his millions to retire to the Maldives, Wolff made clear just how committed he is. "The problem is that I'm dead in the Maldives without what I'm doing here," explained Wolff. "The activity in the team, developing the team, is what I really enjoy. Formula One is booming. On the revenue side, things are going very well, and this is what I actually want to do all my life." In that respect, the question hasn't arisen until now to say, that's it. It would be like a project manager or an employee saying, "I've done this now, I'll go out with the best record and that's it." It doesn't stop with me, it's going on. With Mercedes facing its most difficult campaign in the turbo hybrid era, Wolff says that form this season has been an important learning exercise about nobody in F1 being invincible. While the team has got its 2022 car wrong, he has faith that the same engineers can turn things around and make rapid progress. Asked if he felt the team staff had lost their ability, Wolff said, "My spontaneous answer would be, you can't unlearn it. But then the track teaches us something else. It's also about always staying humble, and that's what we are, and saying, shh, we really got it wrong. You have to accept that now. Where did we go wrong? In my time, we did 8 out of 8 strikes, and now we've really gone wrong. It's not like we're just 3/10 off." Not exactly inspiring words from Toto Wolff. A team that's been so successful for so long lost many of its staff from behind the scenes. And then, the new car is nothing compared to the ones before. That to us seems like a team that is teetering on the edge. Success has made them complacent, and now the hammer blow of failure is landing. Will they crumble or stand strong? I guess we'll have to wait to find out. But until then, why not watch this video?